Running back to the boss or spawning right in front of the fog wall? It's the age-old question, and luckily I'm here to answer it. The rough history is that Runbacks didn't start off as a design concept, but as the byproduct of limited checkpoints caused by hardware restraints. So it's pretty much as old as Mario. It seems to have gained popularity in video game discourse together with the conception of Dark Souls. In the words of Google, the Runback's purpose was to serve as a form of added consequence to failure. Bad runbacks have definitely left some pretty bad scars on gamers, myself included, and the moment one pops up, everyone goes crazy. Now for the new ones. I pretty much just hated runbacks, but there was this moment in Lies of P that made me see it differently. I died to the gang, the 4v1, and seeing where I spawned the first time kinda upset me. Luckily I did unlock the shortcut, but still, having to run back to the boss had me kinda salty. It wasn't a long run back, maybe 30 seconds, just enough to be annoying. Inevitably, I died again and thought to myself, if I'm gonna be stuck in this corridor, might as well spend my time wisely. Now, in between each attempt, I was thinking of the actual fight. Why did I die? Which one of the band would be best to focus down first? What threats do they all pose? How can I improve my positioning? There was more than enough to improve upon, apparently, since I still hadn't beat the boss. And after a few attempts, I beat them. I think that a big part of the reason my attempt count was that low was the run back, and now in retrospect I'm actually happy with that run back and remember it fondly. This run back got a lot of things right to actually be good. So let's take another example. The Dark Souls 2 Smelter Demon runback. This might be the worst runback in history and was almost my reason for quitting the game. The runback is like 1 minute in which you gotta make your way through like 10 enemies, off of which one is a giant and another is a mage that slows you through walls, leaving you extra vulnerable. Remember what I said about having time to reflect on past mistakes? There is no time for that here because it's a struggle in and of itself to get to the boss, and if he hits you twice, you get to do it all over again. It's just tedious. Oftentimes, runbacks hit you hardest at your breaking point. You got the boss down to 1 HP and died, now you gotta run all the way back to the boss. It can be frustrating in the same way dying to a boss over and over can be frustrating. But is it their fault or yours? Difficulty, whilst being kinda subjective, plays a big factor in if a runback is pulled off right. DLC Radon could in no universe have a run back longer than the one he has now. The devs needed to throw us a bone somehow. I'm not saying that having no run back is objectively better, but if you are having us fight the monstrosity of a boss that pre-nerf Radon was, it is objectively the right decision to have a pretty much non-existent runback. So what are the positives of a runback? As mentioned before, runbacks are not all bad. They add quite a lot. Have you ever heard the phrase, shared suffering builds the strongest bonds? I don't even know if that's a real phrase, but it's true for runbacks, and they definitely do that. Running back to a boss you just died to builds some tension and makes each attempt more significant. There is a beauty in growing super familiar with a small chunk of the game. Things that would normally fly over your head, like enemy spawns, attack patterns, voice lines, textures. Give someone a lot of time and they'll force their brain to pick up on new stuff. Not everything needs to be a constant surge of dopamine. Games already are a more personal engagement than other mediums, like short form content. And maybe people want games to be more constantly stimulating because that's what they're used to. Runbacks have added a lot to the discussion and are really part of the lived experience. When I'm talking to someone about Silksong, you already know I gotta mention at least one of the runbacks. The runback is an extension of the boss and also the experience. Runbacks are kind of proving you are worthy of attempting the boss again. You first need to get to me to fight me. We cannot deny that that's cool. So what do runbacks subtract? They can feel tedious. The length and difficulty of both the boss and the runback play major roles in the extent of its tedium. It can feel like a waste of time because you just want to fight the boss, obviously. In Silksong, movement is a much bigger focus than in the Souls game. Because Silksong is a platformer, when you are running back to the boss, you are interacting with the main aspect of the game. I know for a fact I got better at platforming from the Judge runback. In Dark Souls, Runbacks will make you a bit better at running past enemies, but it's not a very useful skill. Neither is it hard to do or master. You hold a button and wiggle the stick. In Silksong, movement itself requires much more focus and precision, automatically making the runbacks much more engaging. Add skips to that and we got a pretty big skill floor and ceiling in our runbacks. So the concept of bad here, bad everywhere definitely doesn't apply, and I hope this video has helped you to see things from a different perspective, or the same perspective. I don't know your perspective unless you tell me. Comment section is right there, don't be shy.